Final update. I was told you're uninvited from the family reunion. We don't want you here. By my sister. I wrote back, great, then I'm taking my barbecue and the drinks with me, and the next morning. Her mouth opened and closed, no words coming out. For a moment, she just stood there, fists clenched at her sides, before finally hissing, "You're pathetic." I straightened up, meeting her eyes. Maybe. But at least I'm not the one left with a pile of burnt food in an empty backyard. The silence that followed was broken only by the distant sound of laughter from the family, the clink of glasses, and the sizzling of the ribs on the smoker. Julia stood there, trembling with fury, until Mark finally put a hand on her shoulder and said, "Come on, Julia. Let's just go." They turned and left, her heels clicking sharply on the pavement, her shoulders rigid with frustration. I watched them go, feeling a wave of satisfaction unlike any I'd ever felt before. As the gate swung shut behind them, Peter came over, shaking his head and laughing. I thought she was going to explode. "You handled that like a pro." I shrugged, finally letting the grin break across my face. I didn't have to do anything. She did it all herself. The party continued, livelier than ever now that the drama had peaked. Plates were filled, drinks flowed, and someone even pulled out a guitar, strumming familiar tunes as the sun dipped lower. For the first time in a long while, I felt in control, like I wasn't just the guy holding the tongs and keeping everyone fed, but someone who had taken a bad situation and turned it into something worth celebrating. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, streaking the sky with pink and orange, the backyard felt transformed. The music picked up, people were dancing barefoot on the grass, and kids were roasting marshmallows over the fire pit. There was no trace of the earlier tension, just a relaxed, easy atmosphere like the kind I used to imagine family reunions could be. I watched my uncles trade jokes over beers, Marie showing a group of kids how to make the perfect s'more, and Peter manning the second grill he brought from home. It was chaos, but the good kind, real, genuine, loud, and happy. At one point, my neighbor Jeff wandered over, a plate piled high with ribs and cornbread. "I don't know what drama you guys had," he said, shaking his head in amazement, "but this is the best barbecue I've had in years. You ever think about making this a regular thing?" I laughed, clinking my beer bottle against his. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but I'm glad you're enjoying it." More and more people filtered in as the evening stretched on. Word had spread through texts and calls, and soon my backyard was packed with friends, neighbors, and family who'd fled Julia's mess. Some brought desserts, others grabbed folding chairs from their cars, and everyone seemed determined to make the night a celebration. The best part? Nobody cared that it wasn't official. There were no awkward speeches, no forced small talk, just music, food, and stories. Everyone shared memories, laughed about old family pranks, and quietly, subtly acknowledged the shift. For once, I wasn't the guy everyone expected to handle things. I was just the guy who decided he deserved better than being pushed around, and everyone had followed. By the time the first fireworks, someone had smuggled, started popping in the sky, the entire backyard was on its feet, cheering and clapping. I stood there with a plate of brisket in one hand and a cold beer in the other, surrounded by people who chose to be there, who wanted to share the night not because it was planned, but because it felt right. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't just the heart of the family, I was the one who reminded everyone what family was supposed to feel like. The backyard was buzzing well into the night, laughter mixed with the crackling of the fire pit, the low hum of music, and the distant pop of fireworks. I stood off to the side for a moment, just taking it all in. There was something surreal about it, the way